So I wanted to do another video about coding boot camps and to talk about some of the mistakes that many of you guys are making when you're enrolling in a coding boot camp and when you're thinking about enrolling in a coding boot camp or when you're already in a coding boot camp. I coach a lot of developers and a lot of people to help them to become software developers or to improve their careers as software developers. So I encounter this quite a bit, and it's a little bit disturbing because these are problems that are pretty easy to avoid if you take the effort to do that. So the very first thing is that do not enroll in a coding bootcamp without teaching yourself to code first. I know that sounds really dumb and it's like, aren't I going to the coding bootcamp to learn how to code? No, you're not going to the coding bootcamp to learn how to code. You're going to the coding bootcamp so that you can get help with the stuff that you're struggling with, so that you can help other people and learn by teaching, by helping the other students in the course, and really to get the connection and the networking and to get the opportunities to demonstrate your skills over a period of time where you're going to be able to get a job. A lot of the coding bootcamp jobs come from the instructors referring students to companies that are looking for good students, the best students. Yeah, you're going to fill in some gaps in your education. Yeah, you're going to learn to become better. But you ultimately need to teach yourself the basics of whatever they're going to teach you in the bootcamp first. Let's say that I had a test that you were going to take and it was really important. I was going to give you a lot of money if you pass this test. And I gave you a copy of what was going to be on the test. And I said, but don't worry, I'm going to teach you a bunch of the stuff that's going to be on this test. If I gave you a copy of what's going to be on the test, would you not start studying that stuff and learning that stuff on your own? Because let's say I was going to give you $1 million if you pass the test. Of course you would. Same exact scenario here. You're going to make way more than $1 million in your life as a software developer if you can pass this test, if you can get through the coding bootcamp and become successful on the other end of it. So do not think that you're going to learn how to code in the coding bootcamp. Yes, they will teach you that. And yes, some people do learn how to code from the coding bootcamp, but that's the hard way. Instead, before you enroll in the coding bootcamp, spend the first 3 months before you even enroll and start the coding bootcamp learning how to code, the basics of whatever they're going to teach. Go get the syllabus, what they're going to teach you in the coding bootcamp, get a copy of that, whatever it is, and then start learning all that stuff on your own. And then when you get to the coding bootcamp, things are going to be easier. And yeah, you're going to still have a bunch of questions. You're not going to be an expert developer. It's going to be harder to do it that way, but it'll be easier when you get to the coding bootcamp and you're going to excel then. The second thing is do not have a job while you're going to the coding bootcamp. I know you're not going to like this one. It's fine. I'm your buddy. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you. It is very difficult to do a coding bootcamp. You're talking about 8-10-hour days worth of work, focused work on learning how to code. That's why you can learn how to code in 3 months. You're not going to get a job making 6 figures and learn it all in 3 months without it being hard. Like the whole point, the reason why you can compress like several years worth of programming experience and knowledge into 3 months is because it's concentrated and it's an immersive experience. It's going to be extremely difficult for you to work a full-time job and do a coding bootcamp and even a part-time job. And you don't want to do this over a year period of time. You want to do this immersive in 3 months or whatever the program is. That's going to be the best thing. I know the instructors or the enrollment advisors are going to try and work with you and be flexible with you. No, forget about that. If you really want to succeed at this and this is your plan, go all into this thing. So don't take another job while doing this. And then the final thing I'm going to tell you about this, which is really critical, is that when you're at the coding bootcamp and you're in the coding bootcamp, you need to overlearn. You need to focus on just doing every single exercise and doing the best job as possible and then helping other students. That's what you need to be doing when you're in the coding bootcamp. You need to be really impress the instructors of the coding bootcamp. You need to impress your peers. That's where all these opportunities and networking opportunities are going to come from. And plus, that's how you're going to really learn things. You don't learn something truly until you teach it. I can promise you this. I have learned this lesson many times, having taught developers for many years, having basically all I do is teach. That's what I do. And that's how I learn things. Sometimes when I'm recording a YouTube video, the point at which I actually learn it is when I'm recording the video. Like it's somewhat internalized in my head, but it's not fully internalized until I say it. And then I am teaching myself it. So let me tell you that you have to teach someone in order to learn. All right, now if you want some more help with things like this, what I highly recommend that you do is you check out my book, The Complete Software Developer Career Guide. I'll have a link down below. You can jump on there. I also have a course called The Digital Toolkit for Software Developers. And it goes over everything for job interviews, which is going to be critical. If you're going to a coding bootcamp, what's the next thing that you're going to need to do? You're going to need to know how to get a job. So I teach you how to pass an interview process, how to start your job search, really important. The method I use for searching for a job is one that's extremely successful and will get you a much higher paid job because it's systematic, it's formulaic. I've applied it to many of my coaching clients and have helped them get mid six-figure, high six-figure jobs. And we're talking $200,000, $250,000 a year jobs. And the reason why is because they've applied a system that does work. So there's a link down below, the digital toolkit for software developers. Go check that out as well. And I'll talk to you next time.